So, when the dust finally settles, what are the chances of a deal being reached anytime soon?
Yeah, and what kind of compromises are likely to be made on any kind of bipartisan bill that'll come out? Political consultant Ron Nehring is here tonight to talk about what we can expect from Washington this time. I guess it's encouraging to hear the word compromise, but the Republicans had to have learned from this last election that they need to deal with immigration on an honest and in a compromised way, right?
I think this is a case where if you get the policy right, the politics is going to take care of itself. Republican elected officials and candidates clearly have to change insofar as they have to articulate what they're for, not just what they're against. They have to articulate what positive, forward-looking reforms to our immigration system, which everyone can agree needs improvement, are they actually for. But a lot of our candidates and elected officials kind of got in the habit of just talking about, well, we're against illegal immigration. Okay, we understand that, but now what is it that we're for? And there are lots of things that we can be for. The question is, will Washington force ideas on which there is no consensus into a bill on items where there is consensus and then bog the entire thing down into failure?
So what kind of language do you think will be included from the standpoint of reform in this package? What are we going to see in this package?
Well, I suspect that there'll be some components that deal with those 11 million people who are here illegally, this pathway to citizenship as it's described, which some people call amnesty and some people insist is not amnesty. There'll be some measures dealing with border security. There'll be some measures dealing with visas for workers and perhaps a guest worker program or what are called H-1B visas for high-tech workers. My concern, again, is that a lot of good ideas will get bogged down because what the senators will do, this gang of 8 will come out with a package, and the Washington Post reported that they'll all oppose any amendments to that package whatsoever. It's a take it or leave it kind of deal. I think there's some danger in that because any package that these 8 senators come up with may not find, the House of Representatives, which is an equal chamber, they're going to want to have their say as well, not just a take it or leave it attitude that the senators are giving them.
So where are the speed bumps in this? Is it the low-pay worker program, which would allow 200,000 people to come in and work construction jobs and other jobs? That's part of this, at least that's what's been talked about. Is it securing the border? Because we've always heard Republicans say we're not doing anything until we secure the border. Is all of that at least up for discussion this time?
Well, I think that anything is up for discussion, at least when it comes to the House. The senators, the gang of 8, they're going to want to limit discussion to only those things which they included in the bill. The House members are going to want to discuss whatever they want to discuss. They were elected to office as well. I think where the biggest hang-up will be over this question of how do you treat those people who are in the country here illegally?
The 11 million.
Right. And I think that people can agree that we don't want a government that is so big that it can deport 11 million people, right? That's not practical. And on the other hand, we recognize that if, what does it say to our rule of law and what does it say to those people who came to the country legally if we just provide a blank check to those folks? So there's going to be something proposed in the middle. It's a question of whether there'll be a consensus around that.
Let me toss this out there. It amazes me how quickly the two parties can come together on a piece of legislation if they think it's going to cost them votes down the road in the next election.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this is all about in reality, isn't it?
Well, again, I think it's a matter that if you get the policy right, the politics will take care of itself. The Republican challenge has been that too many Republicans have been negative in terms of how they've been discussing their position on immigration. There are lots of reforms that Republicans can and do support, but they haven't been talking about that at all, and that's been that's the biggest shortcoming.
My guess is that there are a lot of people who wish that other issues were dealt with the same way.
Yeah.
All right, Ron.
Okay.
Ron Nehring, I appreciate it. Appreciate
you,
you being here today. We'll see what happens with immigration this time.
You bet.
See you later,
Thank
Ron.
you.
Thank you.